Okay, let's begin with our learning objective. We are going to analyze and interpret dot plots. So we're looking at a new graph, and then we're going to identify, compare, and draw conclusions. Okay, so we're focusing this week or today on dot plots. And I know you probably hear my family in the background. I'm sorry. So let's begin by reviewing bar graphs. So we've done this bar graph before. We always start with labeling our bar graph. We know that fish is 2. We know that lizard is 4. Bird is 6. Dog is 10. And cat is 8. So I've labeled that. That means I've gone and looked at each one, figured out how much each one of them have. So how many number of students preferred a fish, a lizard, a bird, a dog, and a cat. So once I do that, I need to find my total, and that means I'm just taking these numbers right here and I'm adding them up. 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 8. I know that 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 10 is 22. And 22 plus 8 is 30. So all of these favorite animals total equals 30. And that equals my whole. Okay. So now I'm going to go and read my question. And it says, what percentage, so I know I'm looking for a percentage, of the students surveyed selected bird? That's my part. So I have my part and I have my whole, and I'm looking for my percentage. So I know it's part over whole equals percent over 100. My part is the bird, so I come and find the bird, and that's 6. So 6, I know my total is my total number of animals, and that is 30. Equals, I'm looking for percent, so that's going to be blank. I don't know what that is, and it's always over 100. So we cross multiply, that's 600, and then we divide by 30. I like to set my problems up like this. I can take out these zeros right here. Those cancel out. How many times will 3 go into 6? 2 times. How many times will 3 go into 0? 0, and my answer is 20%. Answer choice F. So 20% of the students preferred birds, which means 6 of them preferred birds. Now let's look at circle graphs. Pretty much the same thing. We label our circle graph. We know that our circles always equal 100%. We are missing vanilla. This is what we need to figure out. So I have to take coffee, chocolate, and strawberry and add those 3 up. 14 plus 42, that's 56, plus 18, that is 74. Okay, 74% is either coffee, chocolate, or strawberry. So I take my 100% and I subtract my 74% to find my missing percent for vanilla. And I am going to subtract 100 minus 74, and I'm going to get 26%. So vanilla is 26%. Okay, now I'm going to read my problem, and it says, Ursula surveyed 50 classmates. That right there is my whole. This whole survey is based on 50 classmates. So 100% equals the actual number 50 classmates. About their favorite ice cream flavors. Each classmate chose one flavor. The results are shown in the circle graph. How many more? As soon as I see how many more, I know I'm going to have to subtract. Of Ursula's classmate chose chocolate, then chose vanilla. So I'm going to begin working on chocolate. So we know we're going to use percent over whole equals, part over whole equals percent over 100. So I don't know my parts. That's what I'm looking for. So that's going to stay blank. But I do know my whole is 50. And we're working on chocolate first. I do know the percentage for chocolate. And that's 42%. So I'm going to put my 42% here over 100%. So now I'm going to cross multiply these two numbers. 50 times 42, that's 0, that's 100. That's 0, and that's 20, and I get 2100. Then I'm going to take that 2100, and I'm going to divide it by 100. And I'm going to cross out these 0 here, this 0 here, and I have 21 over 1 left, so I know chocolate is 21. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for vanilla now. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to do part over whole equals percent over 100. I don't know my part. I know my whole is 50. And I'm looking at vanilla now. And I know that's 26% over 100. So now I'm going to cross multiply. 50 times 26. That's 0. That's 300. That's 0. That's 100. So now I'm going to combine these, 1,300, and I'm going to divide that by 100. And I'm going to get 13. So now I'm supposed to subtract those numbers. 21 minus 13 equals 8. And I will select answer choice F. So really all you're doing is making sure you go back and you use the formula. Part over whole equals percent over 100. Okay, now getting to the new stuff. Dot plots. So when we look at dot plots, this is the one we're really going to focus on, like mean, median, mode, range, and then its shape. So data can take shape, take 3 different shapes. You should have learned this last year. We're kind of reviewing this. It can either be symmetric, and that's kind of like where it looks pretty even on both sides. This is a perfect symmetric here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have 3, 3, and 2, 2. So that's pretty symmetrical there. We can also have it skewed to the right, and it looks, you would think it would be skewed to the left because everything is going to the left, but what this pretty much says is that you'll have your highest and it just kind of goes more, like it diminishes or decreases going to the right. So it kind of comes down to the right. Here it's skewed to the left, so that means it decreases down to the left side. So we have to know that as we work through our problems, because you can have a question that could focus on that. So let's take this first question, for example. This is actually not a question, but I want to look at this because I want you to be able to tell me, is it skewed left, is it skewed right, or is it symmetrical? It says a shoe store manager ordered various types of running shoes. The dot plot shows the sizes of similar shoes, women's shoes and men's shoes that the manager ordered. So here you can kind of see how the data just kind of falls this way. And there's very few pieces here. So this is not very symmetrical. So if I look at how I've skewed it down this way, we can say that this is skewed right. Now, if I look at the second one, you can kind of see how it's kind of almost perfect. There's like, it'll kind of skew here and then it kind of skews here, but it's pretty equal. So we're going to say that this one is symmetric. Okay. So if there was a question asking you about the shape, you should immediately be able to say that women's shoes skewed to the right while men's shoes was more symmetric. Okay, now let's look at another question. This is an actual question that's going to determine how you're going to go about the dot plot. So here I did put some steps. Like first off, I want you to start looking at its shape, noticing that, making a list of your numbers. If the question is going to ask you for median, mode, and range, having a list is going to be important. And then finding your total is also going to be important because that's going to be your whole. Okay, so let's look at this first question. Let's read it first. Ms. Gonzalez gathered data on the number of vowels in the first and last names of each of her students. The data are shown in the dot plot. What percentage of the students have 5 or more vowels and their first and last name? So we know we're looking for percentage. Your brain should immediately be going part over whole equals percent over 100. We know that our part is the 5 or more vowels, okay? We can figure out our whole by just counting up all of the circles. So that means I just can't, all of the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There are 30, so that's my total number of vowels in students' names is 30, which equals my whole. Okay, so now I can start setting this up. I know my whole is 30. I know I'm looking for a percentage, and that's always going to go over 100. Now I'm looking specifically for those vowels that are 5 and more. So that means all of these that are in this little triangle here. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to count how many are in each, or is 5 or more. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I know that there are 21 out of 30 that have 5 or more vowels in their name. So now I'm just going to take these two numbers and I'm going to cross multiply, which is going to give me 2100. And then I'm going to divide by 30. So I'm going to cross that out. How many groups of 3 makes 21? 7. 7 times 3 is 21. And then how many groups of 3 make 0? 0. 70% have a 5 or more vowels. Okay, 5 or more vowels. So that's pretty simple. Now, the next one has you look at mean, median, mode, and range. So the dot plots show the numbers of apples picked by members of 2 different tour groups. So here's tour group 1 and here's tour group 2. Okay, so which statement correctly compares these two data sets? So first thing that you have to do is we can look at the shape. There's really not one that's skewed to the left or skewed to the right. So it's really not looking like, it's not symmetrical, but you can see like there's a gap here, here. It kind of goes more this way. So you could probably say that it's more skewed to the left, if you want, or so to speak, but we know for sure that they're not perfect symmetrical. So as we look at the question, keep that in mind. The dot plot shows the number of apples picked by members of 2 different groups, 2 different tour groups at the orchard. Which statement correctly compares the 2 different data sets? Well, F says the median, G says the mode, H says the range, and the distribution of this is symmetrical. Okay, well, these are not symmetrical, so we automatically should be able to eliminate answer choice D or J. First thing that I want you to do from this now is to go ahead and make a list of your numbers. So I know that there's only 1 1. There's 2 2s. There's 2 3s. There's 1 4. There's 1 2 3 4 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 3 6s. There's 2 7s. There's 2 8s. And there's 3 10s. If I want to find the median, I can go through and I can do my 2 fingers. So it's 1 10, 2 10, 2 10, 3 8, 3 8, 4 7, 5 7, 5 6, 5 6. I'm left with 2 numbers. 5 plus 6 equals 11, and then I divide that by 2 and I get 5.5 is my median. Okay, my mode is which one is chose the most frequently, like which one has the most dots. So that would automatically tell me that 5 is my mode. And then if we remember range, that's where we take the largest number, which is 10, and we subtract it from the smallest number, which is 1. And we do 10 minus 1 is 9, and that equals our range. And that's for tour group 1, okay? So now let's do tour group 2, and we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to start comparing them. So there's 2 1s. There's 1 2. There's 2 3s. There's 3 4s. There's 4 5s. There's 4 6s. There's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7s. There's 3 8s. 3 4 5 6. There's 3 8s. 1 2 3. There's 3 9s. And there's 2 10s. Now we're going to start going and doing the 2 fingers. So 1 and 10, 1 and 10, 2 and 9, 3 and 9, 3 and 9, 4 and 8, 4 and 8, 4 and 8, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 6 and 7, 6 and 7, and then I'm left with these 2, which is 6 plus 6, which equals 12. 12 divided by 2 equals 6, which equals my median. My mode is the one with the most number of dots, and that's going to be 7. And my range is my largest number minus my smallest number, which is 10 minus 1 equals 9. Okay, now I can go and select the best answer. The median of the data is the same for both data sets. So when I go look at my median here, and I look at my median here, are they the same? No. The mode of the data is the same. So when I go look at my mode here, it's 5. My mode here is 7. That is not the same. The range is the same. Well, range is 9. Range is 9. Yes, they're the same. That's the best answer. So you should have this work complete. Once you're done with this, you'll go and complete your edge elastic. I would keep this sheet so that way you can use it as a reference on how to apply your learning to the edge elastic. The edge elastic is due today for a grade.